So, you know what special use is. You know you need it for your business to get into the new property you're going to. You know that you need to have contingencies so you can go through the process of attaining that special use. So what is that process? That's what we're going to discuss today. I'm Christian Lee, and welcome to my commercial channel, Commercial Main and Estate, where I provide information and useful tools to help you with commercial real estate transactions. I'm currently the Director of Commercial Real Estate at Village Commercial out of Frankfort, Illinois, and I have been doing commercial real estate since 2003. Today, we're going to talk about the process of obtaining that special use. You can look back at other videos of mine which will explain what a special use is, and also the need for a contingency before you sign that contract on the property which you wish to lease or purchase that you do need to obtain that special use for. So on to the process. So before you go through the contract and before you got that contingency, you most likely or should have spoken with somebody from the village, the municipality that you're moving into, and see if your use, though you need to do special use for it, if your use, the city and municipality will accept. There are usually, from my experience, you are able to talk to somebody from the municipality and they're able to give you somebody from the building department, should put that out there, obtain a yes or no, or not a yes, but a possibly, I see that happening, or a firm no. Like, that's never going to happen. Sorry, it's just never going to happen. The maybes, though, is what they're never going to give you confirmation because you have to go through the process. That said, a maybe is usually a strong maybe or a hesitant maybe. And sometimes, if you get somebody cool on the other line, will say to you, well, I think it could work. I've seen it happen before. The village seems to be open to those type of conversations. That said, here's our hot buttons. Could be parking, could be signage. It depends on what your use is, but that you're trying to obtain for. Sometimes they're able to give you some information to help you for that process. So then what's the process? First, let's talk about the cost. I have run into municipalities that a special use would cost $500. I've run into other municipalities that cost $5,000. So you need to figure out what that cost is, and they'll tell you right up front what the costs are, and then what applications you need to fill out. Multiple applications, every municipality is different. I can't go through every page. I don't have them on me, actually. I could, but a lot of times they want a space plan. They want to see what you're going to do to the space for your use. They want a full description, background of what your use is. Are you building something? Are you doing a mixed martial arts class? Whatever. What is that? What's the occupancy going to be? What is a traffic flow? Like, say you have an insurance agency going to a strip center, and that in the village you need to get special use because your insurance agency doesn't collect sales tax, and they have a reasoning of code that says strip centers, retail centers need to collect sales tax. That's a common play for special use. So what's the traffic going to be? Is there 3 cars a day every hour? Or are you going to fill the capacity of the parking lot? What's the current parking lot capacity? Is it overrun? So those are things they're going to ask. So you have to fill out that form, those forms actually. Your broker could help you. You will most likely need to get something from the landlord. There's a document in there that says the landlord knows you're going through a special use. They want you as a tenant. They agree with your use in the center. So they need to fill that out. And they may have to give you some other information about the center to fill in the blanks of the application itself. So once you get that application completed, you need to send that in with the money. And then you have to put it in front of the board of the municipality, and you have to do it before they meet for the month. And that's the problem why the process takes 3 to 4 months. Sometimes longer. Depends on if it's county, depends on the process, and how much. The biggest thing is how often they meet. So they will also, part of that process is, and then the fee, they need to mail out a letter to everybody within, say, a 1 mile radius. Depends on the municipality. It's usually about 1 mile or so. Mail out this letter, say, we're going to do a special use change of zoning for this center, and we're going to hold a meeting, public meeting on this date. Come on out and hear about it, protest it, accept it, favor for, not. So it gives the public a chance to discuss it. So that's usually the first meeting. The second meeting is you'll get kind of a pass to go forward with that meeting, and if you do, great, you're on track. Then you have to go to the next meeting, and then there's usually then the final meeting. So as you go through that process, it takes a while, it takes forms. You will have to be present to those meetings. Your landlord helps if they're there, especially for the first one or two, because they need to talk to the landlord, and the landlord's there to advocate in your favor because the landlord wants your tenancy or the seller wants to have you buy their property. And then your broker might be there as well. It all depends. Obviously, the more people in your favor, the better, but you don't always have to have this huge crew. I've been there where I've shown up and my client was not able to, and I spoke on behalf of my client, and we got through the process itself. So it all depends on who's there. During the time of the process of what's going on, what can you do? I get this question a lot from my clients. But what can I do? I got to do this build out, and now I'm losing 3 months to do this build out. Well, going for permits takes a process itself as well. As I'll explain in some future videos the process of actually obtaining permits for build outs. But what you can do a lot of times, and you can work with the municipality on this, the building department, and ask them, hey, can I submit my building plans and start going through that review process? And I wouldn't do it until actually through the first meeting, public meeting, and see if you're a go. If you're not a go, then obviously don't waste your time. But if it's a go, then you can submit your plans, start going through the building permit process. So hopefully, the key is hopefully, and the greatest thing would be is you get approved for your special use. The next day you get approved for your build out, and now boom, you're on your way to go. So you don't lose any time, at least more time, I should say. So that's the kind of the process. It's a long process, a lot of paperwork, meetings to show to, public notices, etc. So that is the process. It's long and enduring, but it does get done. And you do know in the beginning parts of that process if you're a go or not. So you will know within the first, I would say, your initial meeting, just a conversation, you have a good idea if you're going to go, if you're leaning to the right side. And then you also will know after that first meeting. So I would say within the first 45 days, you have a very good understanding about if you're going to get approved or not. So that's always a positive thing, so you're not stressed for 3 months. So any other questions on the special use, please leave it in the comments. I will definitely answer you. And till the next video, I appreciate you watching. Again, my name is Christian Lee with Village Commercial. Until the next time, live for today and fight for tomorrow. Thank you.